Hey guys, Florent from Afterlands here, and today I want to make a different kind of video. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for the ongoing support that's been happening for the past year. It's been incredible. So thank you so much. And what I want to do now with this channel is try to give something back. I've received a lot of questions over the past year about filmmaking or gear in general. And what I want to do is turn the most common one into short videos. So whether it be about a specific item or specific cameras or the way I shoot, how I make money. So I want to make videos that are straight to the point, no clickbait, just honest videos about tips and personal experience as a freelance filmmaker, which I have been for the past 4 years. So let's get into today's video. And today's video is about how to make a living and how to make money as a freelance filmmaker. I've decided to break down this video into 3 different parts. The first part is working directly for clients, the second part is working with agencies, and the third part is video licensing. This is probably the most common way for people to make money and is also our common way to make money. So what it is a client reaches out to us with an idea, or we reach out to them in the hopes of collaborating. And the pros of doing that is that it's usually a pretty straightforward, easy process when it comes to communicating and getting the project started. So usually you get an idea or concept and we have a couple of days to come up with a proposal. We send this to the client, they have a few things to change, a bit of feedback, comes back to us, and then when it's all ready, we shoot, we edit, and we're done. There's obviously a couple of revisions sometimes, but the good thing about working directly for the client is that you get that instant communication. There's no middleman, and when something needs to happen, something needs to change, it's pretty much instant, or at least you don't waste time. So from experience, we've worked with local businesses on small projects and big brands on bigger projects. So obviously the budget and the scope is different, but the process is usually the same. Now, the cons of working directly for the clients means that you probably will get a smaller budget in a way that usually they have a certain amount of money allocated for that project, and that's what it is. The good thing is you usually get the whole of that amount because they're only working with you and there's no middleman, so there's no one taking a cut. From our experience, the budget can be anywhere from $500 or as big as $20,000. It all depends on the scope, the audience, and the type of project you're working on. The thing about working directly with a client is that they come up with an idea and then it's your job, your role to turn this idea into compelling images or interesting visuals. Working with agencies is very similar to working directly for the client because you do end up working for a client, so it's very much the same. The differences are that there is a middleman. So when a client needs some work done, they will go through an agency, and then that agency will then find someone that matches that job or that project. So the good thing about it is they're usually bigger projects. You're able to work with clients that you wouldn't normally. And we talk from experience, so we've been able to work with clients like Toyota or Nokia or Samsung, and these clients would have been a lot harder to reach if it was just on our own. Now, the thing is, you get bigger projects and bigger clients, but there's also a middleman, meaning that the agency will get a cut. So whilst the project might be bigger, they will take a cut. So in the end, it's really hard to tell what you're actually making in terms of percentage of the actual project. But so far it's been really good for us and it's been a really positive experience because if you're lucky, you end up working with agencies and people that you like, and they will come back to you, and throughout the year you are able to work on a couple projects or 3 projects with them. And we usually rotate with a couple of agencies, so throughout the year we're able to work regularly on different projects based on those couple of agencies, which work really well. So for us, we work with agencies here in Australia as well as some in the UK, and it's been a positive experience. Now, one of the tricky part of working with agencies is to be discovered. So obviously when you work client to client, they either know your work or you know what they do, and it's a very straightforward communication. But with agencies, you need to get noticed, and for us, we are lucky because we have a strong social presence, so we can have visibility and people are able to see our work, whether it's on Instagram and YouTube or Vimeo, and projects can come like that, and agencies come the same way as well. So because there's so many people these days doing the same thing, like filmmakers or photographers, it can be really hard to stand out, and for an agency to be, okay, I want to work with those people and not with that person. And they have a roster of people and they allocate the right projects to the right people. And if things goes well, like I said, you end up working with them regularly, and that's a really good thing. So the third point is video licensing, and that's probably the least common out of the ways to make money for filmmakers. And for us, it's been working really well. So for the past 2 years, we've been working with Film Supply. You may have heard of them. Film Supply is this agency in America that do stock footage, but in a way that is more curated and selective. Stock footage is stock footage. So basically, you just send videos and then people will just buy those videos and include them in different projects. The good thing about this is, especially for us as we are travel content creators as well, we have a lot of footage from different places that we don't use. It just sits on hard drives. And the good thing with this is you just send your footage and you get a check at the end of the month. That's pretty much how it works. We started to get a lot of video licensing inquiry personally into our emails, and it was really hard to find a way to give the right amount, because in terms of the audience and the length, who is using it, where does it go, and it's really hard to give a price on your own work when it's only like a few seconds or a couple of minutes. It's really tricky. So as an example, when we signed with Film Supply, we were already talking to a client that reached out to us for licensing just a couple of clips from a New York collection. And they were pretty big clients, and the amount that they offered us at the time was big for us. It was one of the first license, and we were like, okay, this is good. But because we were already signed with Film Supply, we had to go with them. And obviously they take a cut. And it's a pretty big cut, but it's justified because they do everything and they have the reach, and the fact that there aren't too many people on their platform means that your footage has a lot of chance to be seen by those people in need of footage, and they're usually big brands. So when that brand reached out to us, we were happy with the initial amounts, but we let Film Supply deal with them, and in the end we actually got more than the brand offered in the first place, which means that even after Film Supply's cut, we still got more, which means that they managed to double or triple the actual amount that was first offered. So obviously with stock footage, you need to make sure that you own the rights to the footage, that you shot it, or that you have releases for any person involved in the actual footage, and that you don't mind having your footage in other ads or other projects from different clients around the world. So I think it's one of the tricky parts as a freelance filmmaker is how to price your work, but also knowing what it's worth. And when it comes to video licensing, it's very, very tricky, because you might be like, okay, well, I can't really sell a couple of seconds for $200 or $300. That might seem like really high. But then if that project is included into a worldwide ad that runs for like a year, that's nothing for the clients, and the money that they will be making because of that is ridiculous. It's huge. So I think that's when Film Supply comes in and they deal with all that thing, negotiating and admin, and all you get at the end is a check. And 2 years ago, we thought that we were just making a couple of bucks and that would allow us to buy a bit of gear, a bit of pocket money, to go out sometimes or whatever. But now it's actually paying our rent. And people usually shocked by that is that, yeah, video licensing is working. Obviously, Film Supply is a more high-end version of that, but it does work. And for us, I think the reason we're getting, because I think there's this thing where a lot of people are trying to get into curated sites like this one, and the reason why we got in the first place is that we had footage, I think that's the reason why, but we had footage from Greenland and Iceland before it became very, very popular. So things were in high demand, I guess, and yeah, we got in. There you go, guys. That's all for today. So hopefully this was helpful to you and that you've learned something. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about what we've talked about or any other questions. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like these ones. And hopefully we can turn this channel into a resource for filmmakers that are just starting out or just filmmakers in general, because I've been doing this for a few years now. and I've worked on a lot of different projects and documentaries and commercials. I've worked on projects that are small, I've worked on projects that are big around the world, and I've used a lot of different cameras over the year. I've used video cameras, I've used DSLRs, I've used cinema cameras, and I think the reasoning behind doing videos like this is that I see a lot of content on YouTube, a lot of vloggers talking about filmmaking and how to use this and how to do that and giving tips, but I can actually never find their work. And it's, it's not a rant or anything. I want to give you honest answers, because if I was in your case asking questions, I would like to know the actual answer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.